One of the leading political figures of the 20th century died today. Former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. She was 87. The cause was a stroke. Thatcher shared the world stage in the 1980s with another conservative, Ronald Reagan. Nancy Reagan today called them political soulmates. After 30 years of socialism in Britain, Thatcher helped lift her people out of the worst economic crisis since the Depression. Here's Mark Phillips in London.
Margaret Thatcher was called many names in her time, but it was an adversary, Mikhail Gorbachev, the leader of the old Soviet Union, who used the nickname that stuck.
Britain needs an Iron Lady.
She was a politician for whom the term divisive is almost a compliment. Loathed by the workers whose union power she crushed and whose old state-owned industries she shut down or sold off. Loved by the new entrepreneurial class her uncompromising capitalism created. As Britain's first and only woman prime minister in office from 1979 to 90, her very name became an ideology, Thatcherism. A British version of Reaganomics, her steadfast political soulmate relationship with Ronald Reagan, it said, was what won the Cold War. And on her death, the children of Thatcherism, including Britain's current Prime Minister David Cameron, paid tribute.
Margaret Thatcher didn't just lead our country, she saved our country.
In her later years, she suffered from a series of strokes and dementia and was rarely seen in public. In her prime, she's been described as a force of nature, not only facing down the unions, but facing down the Argentinians who invaded the British Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic without taking into account the willfulness of the British Prime Minister. Her strident, some say bullying manner became the stuff of satire.
Wake up, you blithering idiot!
But by the most important measure of politics, there was no denying her success. She won 3 straight elections and brought her irrepressible message to the U.S. on CBS News' Face the Nation as well.
America's a strong country with a great present, a great people, and a great future.
Lighten up. Is that what you're telling us?
Cheer up. Be more upbeat.
The remarkable thing about Margaret Thatcher is that 23 years after she left office, her legacy is still being argued about. A funeral is being planned, a full ceremonial funeral, it's called, that's one notch below a state funeral. Margaret Thatcher was more than a politician here. She was one of those people who defined and gave her name, Scott, to an era.
Mark, thank you.